Let's dive right into this explainer and completely transform you from an intimidated homeowner into a confident DIYer. If you've ever stared at a leaking pipe or a backed-up sink and felt that immediate spike of anxiety, and honestly, we've all been there, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're demystifying the pipes, valves, and traps hidden behind your walls and under your cabinets. We're going to turn that fear into pure empowerment.
We have a brilliant 5-step roadmap for you today. We'll be covering basics and essential tools, avoiding pipe mistakes, fixing sink stoppers, toilets and disposals, and finishing strong with water heater maintenance.
And master plumber Roger Wakefield hit the nail on the head regarding why this matters so much. He says if you'll go invest in a plunger or a closet auger, you can probably save yourself a couple of $100. The plumbing industry absolutely thrives on people not knowing how to do simple fixes. Mastering these straightforward skills keeps your hard-earned money right in your pocket. You really don't need a heavy truck and a massive invoice for most household hiccups. You just need a little bit of knowledge.
So let's jump straight into Section 1. Basics and essential tools. Before you ever touch a pipe, you need the right real-world gear. We're talking a correctly sized plunger, a closet auger for those really stubborn toilets, pipe wrenches, some good screwdrivers, and a pipe cutter with a built-in reaming tool. These simple physical tools are literally all you need for the vast majority of water issues. But owning them isn't enough. You got to know how to use them safely. Take the plunger. To use it effectively, you want to create a tight seal over the drain and apply firm, steady downward pressure. Don't violently splash around. You'll just make a mess and break the seal. And for those pipe wrenches, always make sure the teeth grip the fitting firmly and pull in the direction of the jaw opening so the wrench bites down tighter as you turn. That simple trick prevents the heavy metal from slipping off and damaging the pipes, or worse, busting your knuckles.
Let's talk about the P-trap to build your basic understanding. That curvy pipe under your sink? It's not just shaped like that to catch dropped rings. It holds a small pool of water that creates a literal seal, preventing dangerous sewer gases from floating right into your home. To keep that P-trap working, your drain pipes must have a proper downward slope and adequate air venting. If they don't, flushing a nearby toilet creates a vacuum that will actually suck the water right out of that P-trap.
Now think about the number 6. 6 feet is the absolute maximum distance you should have between pipe hangers for 1/2-inch and 3/4-inch copper water lines. If your pipes aren't properly secured every 6 feet, the pressure and vibration of water rushing through them will cause them to bend and flex. It's exactly like a metal paperclip. If you bend it back and forth enough times, it snaps. The exact same thing applies to your water lines, which can result in a catastrophic leak inside your walls.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, avoiding common pipe mistakes.
Knowing what not to do is just as crucial. For example, there's a classic debate among handymen about sealing threaded pipe joints, but there is a definitive right answer. You must apply Teflon tape first, then the pipe dope. If you put that slick pipe dope on first, the tape has absolutely nothing to grip. It'll just slide back as you tighten the fitting and ruin your seal. Tape first, dope second. That gives you a clean, leak-free finish every single time.
Safety is also a massive priority with copper pipes. If you are soldering a pipe that carries your potable drinking water, never ever use lead solder. Lead is highly toxic. You always need to verify you're using a 95-5 mix of tin and antimony, which is completely lead-free. And before you even think about soldering, cleanliness is everything. You have to thoroughly scrub off the pipe oxidation with an abrasive pad until the copper is bright and shiny. Otherwise, you're looking at a weak joint and a massive leak.
Let's talk about cross-threading. That's when you force the threaded pipe into a fitting at a slight angle, which destroys the threads and guarantees a leak. To prevent this, don't just shove the pipe in and twist. Align the pieces carefully by hand and slowly turn them backward, counterclockwise. You'll actually feel a tiny little click when the starting threads drop perfectly into alignment. Once you feel that click, you can safely turn clockwise to tighten it smoothly. Never grab a wrench until you've hand-tightened it securely.
On to Section 3, fixing bathroom sink stoppers. Let's apply this to a real-world scenario. You're trying to take out an old, rusted pop-up assembly from a sink, and it's a total nightmare because the whole thing just spins when you try to loosen the nut underneath. Well, here's an amazing pro tip from the experts at This Old House. Stick 2 screwdrivers straight down into the holes of the metal strainer inside the sink basin. Have a friend hold those screwdrivers tight, almost like a steering wheel. That provides the exact leverage you need to stop the top from spinning while you use your wrench on that rusted bottom nut.
When reassembling everything, don't skimp on your seals.
Roll some plumber's putty into a ring and press it right under the strainer rim. Underneath the sink, apply pipe dope to your rubber gaskets for extra leak protection. And here's the real secret. As you tighten it, make absolutely sure the piece is aligned perfectly perpendicular to the back wall. By lining it up straight, your new linkage rod will slide right into the mechanism, giving you a perfectly smooth, functional sink stopper.
Now for Section 4, tackling toilets and disposals.
A running toilet will quietly cost you an absolute fortune in wasted water. But the inside of a toilet tank is incredibly simple. You just have a fill valve bringing fresh water in, a flush valve letting water out into the bowl, and a rubber flapper creating a watertight seal at the bottom. That is pretty much the whole shebang. If your toilet is running, one of those three components is failing. Instead of calling a professional, just look up your toilet model online, buy a replacement kit, and swap those cheap plastic parts out yourself in about 10 minutes.
Let's head to the kitchen. You flip the garbage disposal switch, and instead of grinding, it just gives you a low, angry hum. It's jammed. First, absolute safety priority. Reach right under the sink and physically unplug the unit. Never ever stick your bare hands down a disposal. Instead, take an Allen wrench to the socket on the very bottom of the disposal and turn it, or stick a wooden broom handle down the drain to manually force the blades loose. Once it spins freely, press the little reset button underneath, plug it back in, and boom, you just saved a massive repair bill.
Finally, let's head down to the basement for Section 5, water heater maintenance tips.
We're confronting the most expensive piece of plumbing hardware in your home, which brings up a vital question. Is it really worth spending hundreds of dollars to fix an aging water heater? If the tank itself isn't physically leaking, you can absolutely swap out parts like heating elements or thermostats pretty cheaply. But you always have to weigh those repair costs against simply investing in a brand new, highly efficient unit, especially if yours is getting up there in years.
If you do decide to work on it, or even just drain it for maintenance, listen to this critical warning. Always turn off the electricity at the breaker or shut off the gas before you drain a water heater. If you drain an electric water heater and accidentally turn the power back on before it's completely refilled, you will instantly burn out the heating elements. They are designed to be submerged. Dry firing destroys them in seconds, so follow this rule without exception.
To extend the life of that heater, you should be doing an annual sediment flush. Hook a real garden hose to the bottom drain valve and run it outside, ideally onto a concrete surface, because that scalding hot water will absolutely kill your grass. Open the valve to blast out the sediment buildup that eats away at the tank. Then, shut off the cold water supply and open the TMP valve near the top to let air in, allowing the tank to drain completely. Doing this simple flush once a year will dramatically extend your heater's lifespan.
And there you have it. You now understand the basic anatomy of your pipes, the tools required, and the simple steps to tackle the most common issues. Now that you have the toolkit and the knowledge, which plumbing mystery are you going to conquer first to save your household hundreds of dollars? Thank you so much for joining this explainer. Grab your wrenches, stay safe, always remember to turn off the water before you start, and I'll see you next time.